Your body is an instrument.
Oklahoma!
Oklahoma!
Come say it.
Yow! Wait, you said how it's done.
I did.
You ruined it.
Amazing Technicolor Shitshow.
Hello and welcome. This is Amazing Technicolor Shitshow, the podcast about the fumbles and follies of live theater. I'm Trev.
And I'm Elle.
And here we're talking about the mystical, magical magic.
Realm of magic. The realm.
The domain of magic.
Yes.
I'm so excited about this. I've been into magic like a little bit.
Yeah.
For my whole life, I got like a magic set as a kid, and I thought it was very fun, but I never I don't know, I wasn't into like practicing tricks and getting all good at them.
Yeah.
I just thought it was fun to watch.
Magic is cool.
Magic is very cool.
I think we can all kind of admit universally magic is cool. And when you're a kid, I think there's something extra special about learning how to do some kind of like close-up magic to like surprise an adult. It's interesting because magic that's done like poorly is not cool. It's kind of something people scoff at. But then there are like incredibly successful magicians
Oh, for sure.
that are very cool. So,
Magic gets a lot of a bad rap, I guess.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I think it's probably because of the bad magicians. That It's very difficult to suffer through a bad magic show. We have talked about this same kind of thing with improv.
Yeah,
Great improv is fantastic. Bad improv is terrible to watch.
abomination.
Abomination.
Yeah.
Cannot be watched.
Yeah. So anyway, I kind of realized that we have had episodes about mimes, clowns, jesters, puppets, ventriloquists, all these things, but we've never really done an episode about magic shows. And obviously there's like really a lot to cover. So this is going to be a really like surface level kind of dive. And obviously, we can't go too far behind the veil because magicians never reveal their secrets.
Classically true.
So we'll just give you a little peek behind the curtain, behind the veil.
Looky-loo.
A little looky-loo into the disappearing cabinet.
Places.
Thank you, Places. Illusions, as I said, are fun and entertaining. And of course, we know that ancient people may have had their own concerns and troubles that they were up against, but they too liked to have a good time.
They like to party.
You know they did. The first documented magic trick involved a trick prop called a loda bowl. This was in Southeast Asia around 3000 BCE.
Neat.
This is the first kind of official magic trick.
Documentation, yeah.
So a loda bowl, this is a specific type of bowl that you can pour out of, and it looks like you've emptied it, but then when you put it upright, it refills itself.
Right, yes.
Yeah.
Some pottery trickery.
Exactly. So this obviously just has to do with how the bowl is constructed, that some of the water like goes into the walls of the bowl. So
Wait, you said how it's done.
I did.
You ruined it.
This one is a 5,000. This is a 5,000-year-old trick. So I feel
it's
like
not too soon.
at this point, if you don't know how a loda bowl works,
Come on.
you can pretty easily Google that.
Only a real asshole would know how a loda bowl works. Or a real buffoon.
Okay, so obviously we all better fill up our little shot glasses now and take a shot because I'm going to talk about ancient Rome. Anytime I talk about ancient Greeks or Romans, we got to take some shots.
Let me
up
take
in
a
here.
shot. Oh, wait, there's nothing in it.
Oh, it disappeared.
There's more water in there.
Drink it out of your magic water bowl.
That's what you call a callback to something that happened 30 seconds ago.
So anyway, I got to talk about the Romans. You may have heard of the cups and balls trick.
Of course,
You may have seen every magician ever perform the cups and balls trick. That comes from Rome, and it for sure already existed in the year 65 AD. Because it was written about by writer, philosopher, and playwright Lucius Annaeus Seneca.
Cool.
So we have ancient text describing this cups and balls trick that was happening at the
that's so
time.
cool.
Yeah. So we already kind of talked a little bit about like ancient theater, smoke misdirection, all of that kind of fun stuff. So we already know they were doing illusions essentially on stage all the way
Yes.
back in ancient Greek and Roman
Because
times.
magic makes shows better.
Yeah, because a little bit of stage magic never hurt nobody.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, so Trev, what do you think happened to people who like to do illusions when Christianity started to become a thing?
I'm starting to think that they might have been denounced and possibly, were they punished?
Yeah.
Were they executed?
Being able to do magic, good way to get you ostracized
Okay.
potentially executed as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, obviously a lot less magic going on during like the Dark Ages and at that time when
sure.
Christianity was on the rise.
That makes sense.
So, yep, just like we see not a whole lot of theater being done by the regular kind of people, we also don't see a whole lot of magic being done by the regular people.
Bummer.
Right? It's interesting. Magic really is a type of theater when you really think about it.
Oh, very.
And this makes
yeah.
perfect sense.
Very much so. I mean, there are a lot of things that you could say, well, technically it's theater, but magic
really
it's
is
a performing art, really.
Yes,
Yeah.
magic really is, and it is a lot of storytelling too.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but so not a lot of that during the Dark Ages. Then we do see some in like the late Middle Ages and into the Renaissance, where there's sort of more traveling performers, like how you picture like a traveling juggler and a
Yes.
like there are some travelers who are doing some prestidigitation. Especially at like fairs and circuses
Yeah.
and that kind of thing.
Okay, I can picture that in the Renaissance fair kind of way.
Yeah, exactly.
Some-
You picture like a soothsayer or like that
Yeah,
kind of
yeah,
thing,
yeah.
right? Trev, what image does your mind conjure up when I say magician or illusionist?
Well, for the listeners who are not watching along, Elle has just procured a top hat. From where? We don't know. It came out of thin air.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm seeing a top hat. I'm seeing a cane. I'm seeing, not a cane, but a small, small little black
wand.
with white tips on either end.
Yeah.
Totally, yeah, like a black and white kind of penguin suit.
Yeah.
Flowy sleeves. If there's not a suit, there's flowy sleeves.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So, obviously, the very first thing you mentioned, and my little prop that I have here, if you're watching from home, the top hat, right? The
Yes.
black top hat, that's sort of like the big thing. So, in 1815, French illusionist Louis Comte pulled a rabbit out of a hat.
He actually
He
did?
invented the pulling the rabbit out of the hat trick in
Amazing.
1815 in France. And thus, that image was born.
Cool.
The top hat,
When
right?
did you say? 18?
1815 in
Very
France.
cool.
Yeah. But France in the 1800s is actually a really big time for magic because this is where we meet the father of modern magic, Jean-Eugène Robert Houdin. Houdin, Houdin.
Really?
Yeah. So obviously, Houdin is famously the inspiration for the name of American illusionist Harry Houdini.
For sure.
Harry Houdini is not his real name. That's, of course, his stage name. But Houdini, the name, is inspired by this very famous French illusionist. Robert Houdin is his last name.
Who famously lived like 45 minutes drive away from the green room where we're sitting right now.
Harry Houdini, yes. Not
this
Jean-Eugène
Frenchman.
Robert Houdin. No,
true.
Harry Houdini lived very close to us. He lived in Appleton, Wisconsin. So, but anyway, so Robert Houdin lived in France in the early and mid 1800s, and he really set a precedent for what it meant to be a successful magician. He moved magic from street fairs into elegant theaters. And instead of wizard robes like people had been wearing previously, he wore elegant, fancy black suits.
Oh, he ruined the wizard robes. Was probably cooler. I might have liked if those stuck around.
I do kind of agree with you.
But the flowy sleeves.
But yeah,
That
I mean,
stuck.
if you picture like mid 1800s men's fancy attire,
Right.
like that's what he was wearing.
Yeah.
And of course, he's wearing these elegant suits to sort of level up what magic was. Like, it had previously
We
been...
demand to be taken seriously. Yes.
It had previously been, like for art fairs and street fairs and festivals, and now he's like, no, I have a piece of art that is just as good as any theater you're going to witness, any opera, any symphony. Like, you're gonna sit in a theater, and I'm
Neat.
gonna be wearing a suit, and I'm gonna give you some illusions,
Gonna
some
give you something to think
prestidigitation.
about.
Yeah, exactly.
Love it.
So he actually created his own theater in Paris where he performed Soirée Fantastique, featuring his own original illusions.
Did he say, voila?
Yeah, I'm sure he did.
Did he say, presto changeo?
Yeah.
That's French, right?
That's probably what the Italians said. So some of his most famous original illusions include the light and heavy chest, where he would use magnetism to make a lightweight chest liftable 1 minute and then impossible to lift the
Wow,
next.
okay.
Yeah. Like,
Getting technological.
pretty smart for the 1800s,
Very.
yeah, And the bullet catch, where a gun with a marked bullet would be fired at him and he would then catch it in his teeth.
Wow.
Yeah, you've probably heard of that trick,
Yeah,
right?
very-
Catching
yeah,
a bullet in your teeth.
totally.
Yes, that's him.
That's a
his,
common trick that people do nowadays.
That's his original trick. Yeah.
Gosh, neat.
Yeah, he did levitation as well, which is also like pretty hard to pull
Sure.
off.
Yeah.
But yeah. So Robert Houdin's whole vibe and his whole setup and style of magic was really kind of the basis for a lot of famous illusionists who came after him. Obviously, I mentioned Houdini. These illusionists kind of based a lot of what they did off of the way that Robert Houdin performed.
Very cool.
He's also iconic in that he made an immense fortune with his live shows.
Yeah,
And he
there it
actually
is.
retired at age 48 to focus on his inventions and writing
Of
and
course,
live a
yeah.
comfortable life in his mansion. Before he was an illusionist, he was an inventor and watchmaker.
There it is. See, so much
Mm-hmm.
of magic requires like a piece of equipment that does something that you don't expect it to be able to do.
Exactly. These
Totally
trick
tracks.
props and all of that
Yeah.
that'll work a certain way. Yeah, he was an inventor and a watchmaker. So he was really kind of a very brainy engineer.
He's
and
a
he
technomancer.
but he was a showman and he figured out how to pull this off.
That's awesome.
So now, of course, we obviously have incredible illusionists like Penn and Teller, who we've seen. I've actually seen them a couple times. There's, David Copperfield, David Blaine, people who sell out massive theaters in Las Vegas and on world tours. But they all really have their roots in the ancient performing art turned into modern full stage show by Robert Houdin.
Yeah. Okay. Neat. That's great to know.
Yeah.
That's fun because, we talked about jesters and, I'm sure we'll talk about like bards, tavern musicians.
Yeah.
And there's a big changeover, a transformation,
Yeah.
if you will, to those arts being recognized as something that you would go and pay to sit down and, make into an evening.
Yes.
Yeah, I just love when I'm mystified.
Yeah.
And I've learned a little bit of like how some tricks are done. And so it's also kind of fun to go through the puzzle of figuring out like, oh, okay, he just did a false shuffle and that's why he was able to guess the card that, the person picked.
Yeah.
But it's way, way more fun when you've got no clue
Yeah.
what's going on.
How they could possibly do it.
Yeah.
And there is so much like misdirection and all of that is it's so theater because you're just trying
yeah.
to figure out, like how to make people look where you want them to look. And
Yeah.
you see something going on over here and you cannot help but look at it. And then amazingly something else is happening that they don't want you to see, and the way that they handle that, it is like really interesting, like technical theater skills to
totally.
to make magic work.
Yeah, you don't have to.
I don't have to convince you.
You don't have to fight for that, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I think magic is so much theater that, like we've talked about on this show, theater is best when there is an element of how did they do that?
Magic, yeah.
Or I can't believe they did that.
Yeah.
Or, like when something happens that just mystifies you and catches your breath in your chest. Like
Yeah.
that's when theater is best.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
And sometimes it's a magic trick. Sometimes it's literally an abracadabra moment.
Yeah.
That's what I love. And I try to put moments of that into shows that I'm on the production team for.
So, Trev, I know that our listener story today has to do with a smoke machine. So I was
Yes.
actually originally thinking when I was trying to decide what topic to do for research, I was thinking, How about disappearing in a cloud of smoke? I was like, could we do a whole episode about disappearing into a cloud of smoke?
Yeah.
But then I realized that we hadn't actually talked about like magic shows. And I was like,
Actual
oh,
magic,
okay,
right.
we got to talk about that first. Maybe eventually we'll talk about disappearing into a cloud of smoke.
Someday we'll get to disappear into a cloud of smoke. That's why we got the podcast on video, so that we could disappear into a cloud of smoke.
That really is my dream, to someday just be gone.
And then we see you hiding around the corner. Okay. This story is from Lisa, who is a technician and lighting designer on a lot of shows.
Mm-hmm. She's also worked professionally for many, many years.
Yes, absolutely.
In many different professional capacities.
So thank you for your story, Lisa.
Mm-hmm.
Lisa writes, shows never seem to have enough money. No matter how full the house is, the budget is always whispering, you can't afford that. So naturally, we did what theater people have done for centuries when faced with impossible odds and a small budget. We started to experiment. We'd seen the posts online, magical little internet promises about making low-lying fog without paying dry ice prices. I checked the manual. It didn't say regular ice wouldn't work. It just said that it wouldn't give it the same density or output, which felt less like a rule and more like a challenge. Thus, a hypothesis was born. Science. And everyone said my degree in science and theater was silly. Attempt number 1. Cubed ice in the aquafogger. Confidence level? Questionable at best. Dry ice usually comes in big blocks for longer use, and we already had a slow start because we were only running 1 heater instead of 2. Why? Because we only had 1 of the 2 power cords. Important things in the theater always seem to have legs. Somewhere, that cord is living its best life.
Isn't that true?
As expected, the ice melted. Nothing came out, not even a sad little wisp of fog. So the next day, we tried again. Bigger ice, cubes, and a solid block. We filled that basket like optimism alone might make it work. Same result. No fog. Except, a bit later, an actor came running out to the front yelling that there was, quote, a lot of water backstage.
Oh.
Never the sentences you want to hear.
Mm-hmm.
What had happened was the ice melted, filled the fogger past the drain line, and the machine decided the best solution was to purge itself directly onto the floor. Water everywhere. Near electrical cables, near floor pockets, on concrete, where actors run in the dark. So now we had invented a brand new effect. Low rolling flood. Oops! The good news, everything was okay and everything was safe. The bad news, we had officially confirmed that ice is not dry ice, which leaves us with a choice. Spend oodles of money on dry ice or skip the effect altogether. And that leads to the eternal theater question. Does this effect make or break the audience's experience? Will they come back and bring friends because one scene looked extra cool? Or will they just remember the story and the effect won't make a difference? What we know for certain is that our hypothesis was incorrect. Our fog machine briefly explored a new career as a water feature, and we learned a little bit more about physics, which, unlike theater, does not care how badly you want something to work. Thank you, Lisa.
Okay, yeah, yep, that is very true.
A great philosophical question, though. You know, when do you pull the plug on an effect if it's just like not going to work and it's going to be?
And if you don't have money for it,
it's going to be expensive.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just have to say like, all right, this was a cool idea in my head, but whatever.
Like, can we do something with the lighting, or can we do something with fabric, or can we? Sometimes you just have to get a little bit more creative than you were planning. And,
quick, we have to cast somebody as the fog
to creep about in a cloak.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I'm the fog. You can't see past me.
That does totally sound like something that like a 4th grader would be cast as the fog in their production of Oliver Twist. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it just
The fog comes in.
Like
enter stage left. That'd be so cute. I love that.
Yeah.
I love the idea of making people into inanimate objects when it's cool, like
You played a carrot once.
I did play a carrot once in 2nd grade, the classic theater production How Does Your Garden Grow? But no, that's not what I mean. It's like
Give this guy a Tony.
No, I'm saying when you can make people into, supernatural forces or
Yeah.
natural forces.
Yeah.
I think that's always
Yeah.
fun.
I love when people are used as props. I think that's
Yeah,
really
totally.
interesting when like people show up and like use their bodies as like inanimate objects. I think that's fantastic. I love that. I love when theater gets out of the box like that.
Yeah.
You know, it's really fun to tell stories in different kinds of ways, and I think that's one of the cool ways to do that, you know.
Yeah.
Anytime you can turn your body into your instrument. We love that. My body is my instrument.
I was going, your body is an instrument. Does that work?
Yeah.
Yeah.
5 minutes.
Thank you, Five. All right, for our Thank You Five, we're going to do a little presto changeo.
That's right.
I'm going to give you some anagrams for famous musicals or plays.
I'm grabbing
And-
some paper. You said that I might want
you're
some
gonna
scratch paper.
Yeah, you're going to want to write them down. Yeah. So determine what show this is from the anagram.
I love this. I'm so pumped. I
Trev
hope I
is-
do well.
Trev is really pretty good at these.
Don't tell them that. What if
Okay.
what if I suck?
Well, we will definitely have to do some cutting in this podcast because we're not going to want them sitting for 45 seconds of silence while you're figuring out this anagram. So you can just understand we're going to be doing some creative cutting
We'll
for
see,
this,
we'll see.
creative editing for this one.
Mm-hmm.
Your first one. Look, a ham.
Look, a ham. Hamilton. No, not Hamilton.
No, write it out. Look,
Look,
a ham.
Ham.
And there's an exclamation point after a ham.
Oh, well, that makes it Oklahoma. I see it, Oklahoma.
Yeah, yep.
That exclamation point, though.
Yeah. that's where I got you.
Not a lot of shows have exclamation points in them.
That's true. All right,
There's
moving on.
No, Nanette. Does that have an exclamation? Oliver. Oliver is an
Oliver
exclamation
has
point.
one.
You always.
There's only a couple.
Is there something desperate about putting an exclamation point in the title of what you've written?
I think when it comes to Oklahoma, it's extremely desperate. But
We promise it's fun.
Oklahoma.
Oklahoma.
Come say it.
Yow. All right.
Yo. Okay, your next one.
Yow.
Monk, born to home.
Monk, born to home.
Mm-hmm.
I see emo, barn, tor mom. Monk burned to home. You could get a the in there. I'm gonna cross off a the for the. Bono. Is that about Bono?
No.
Broom, Bork.
You're close with Bork, but not Bork. But you're close with
Close
Bork.
with Bork. Book.
Book.
The book. Oh, we've got the Book of Mormon.
Yeah.
Oh my
there
gosh.
you go.
Yeah. Okay, it's tough when there's a very specific word like Mormon.
Yeah.
Ah, nice. The Book
Nice.
of Mormon.
Yeah.
Monk burn to home.
Monk born to home. Okay, you ready for your next one?
Yeah.
Guided merman hits stream.
Wow, that's a long one.
It is a long one.
Guided merman
Hits stream.
or merman if we're going with real musical theater.
They're musicals or
Ah.
or very famous plays. This one's a play. This one's a very famous play.
Yeah, okay. I see an ing. Is there an ing in it?
No.
No. Okay. Is there?
There's one very interesting long word that's
I'm
going to
sure
get
there
you. I mean,
is.
it's not that long, but there's
It's like
one.
the Tale of Despereaux or something.
Yeah, where there's like one kind of more interesting word.
Uh-huh. Oh man, I gotta get closer here. Is this a Shakespeare play?
Yeah.
I was thinking about shrew, like the taming of the shrew.
No.
But there's no W.
It's not that.
Oh, dream. A Midsummer Night's Dream.
Yes, there you go.
Nice.
Nice. You got it.
Nice. Okay, great.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Oh,
Midsummer.
Midsummer.
That's
Lots
very
of M's
good.
in
Yeah.
that. Mhm.
Okay, I wasn't thinking about Midsummer. But
Yeah.
that's a lot of M's.
Good one. Okay, you ready for your next one?
Uh-huh.
Ponder, showy, reach.
Ponder, showy,
Mm-hmm.
reach.
Yep.
Ponder, showy, reach. Chow.
For those of you who are at home, I hope that you've been pausing if you want to play along.
Yeah. Weapon. No weapon.
No.
Respond
No.
is in there.
Wow.
We're playing Boggle now. Oh, gosh. Warch. Yarch. Punch. Punch?
Nah.
Redone. Pre-done. Nothing?
I mean, redone and pre-done are kind of similar to one of the words that
Okay.
we have here.
Okay, that's good to know. Because they start with re?
No, because they have ONE in them.
O-N-E. Okay.
Can I give you one of the words?
Yeah, you
please?
can.
Drowsy.
Oh, well, that's the drowsy chaperone.
There you go.
Oh, yeah. Drowsy
Drowsy.
chaperone.
Wow, I think we've realized this game is really hard.
This is tough.
This is a really hard
This
game.
is tough.
And
I mean,
you're like good at anagrams.
Uh-huh.
I'm not necessarily particularly good at having anagrams pop out to me, but yeah, wow. This is a tough one.
but drowsy and chaperone both being pretty out of the box words.
Yeah.
I'm not going to my brain isn't going to see them right away.
That's true, yeah.
Very, very fun. I love this. What about this one? Gears, but with an E at the end. Or E-gears, like in a Tesla. E-gears.
Grease.
Yeah. What about this one? Turn, as in Arctic tern.
Rent.
You're so good.
Thanks for doing the easy ones for me.
Yeah, those fun ones.
Just your silly little
Those are just some anagram shows.
silly little absent-minded wife.
I didn't think that they'd be challenging. I didn't think they'd be hard. Well, that's our show. Thank you so much for listening. We have a need for your stories.
Yeah.
Go ahead and send them to us. Big stories, small stories, long ones, short ones, crazy drama, having a great times, anything that happened in your theater life that you want us to know about.
Yeah. How'd you overcome a challenge?
How'd you
how-
be the best there ever was?
Or how did you fail miserably? But then now you can laugh at
How
yourself.
did you what opportunity for growth did you find?
Yeah, exactly.
Send those stories to us at amazingtechnikolershow@gmail.com or fill out the form at amazingtechnikolershow.com.
AmazingTechnicolorShow.com.
The word chart is in there. Piano accompaniment is by Paul Thelen, and our stage manager is Daniel Schneider. If you like what you hear, go ahead and leave us a review on all of the podcast apps that you're using, and please tell your friends about us. And if you don't like what you hear, please tell your enemies. We will lock them in a
Disappearing
hat.
cabinet.
Yeah, we'll put the mirror down so you can't even see them.
Disappear.
Presto changeo, alakazam.
Poof. And then we'll disappear in a cloud of smoke, baby.
Thank you again so much for listening, and we wish you the very, very, very best. As always, whatever you're up to, be it on stage, off stage, or in your life,
Break a leg.
Amazing